Good night. Welcome to Conversation with Rickford Burke. Today is Thursday, January what? When 19th? Share the link, everybody. Welcome to the program. Those of you who are living in New York, good night. Those of you living in the West Coast, good evening. In Guyana, good night. In the Caribbean, good night. Wherever you're watching me from, I hope you're having a good time. In Europe, good morning. Africa, good morning. Asia, good morning. Wherever you're watching from, share the link. Get into all of your Guyanese groups, whether it's on Facebook, whether it's on WhatsApp, whether it's on your email, your Facebook Messenger. Okay. And I'm told that I have to remind you guys to go to Rickford Burke on YouTube and subscribe. Like and follow me on Facebook. So everybody take a pause right now. Go to my YouTube page. And I'll keep repeating this throughout the night, I'm told. My technical guys here. So again, welcome everybody. It's some nice, weather's kind of not so cold here in New York. It's raining at the moment. I hope you're having a good day or a good night wherever you are. Share the link, everybody. Tonight we have some very important topics. We want to talk about 3 topics. Moka, we'll never forget Moka. We must never forget Moka. Moka, and also we want to talk about the mayor's situation. The mayor of Georgetown, his entire security has been withdrawn. These guys are crazy. I'm not sure why, but they took away his security. And then the crime situation in Guyana. Guyana is listed as one of the top 10 most dangerous countries in the world because of its crime rate. Top 10. In the top 10 most dangerous countries in the world because of the crime rate. We'll talk about that. So share the link, everybody. Get into your Guyanese groups. Wherever you're watching me from, spread the love. Let everybody know that Conversation with Rickford Burke is on. And we'll be talking about some important topics to educate you, stimulate the mind, create an awareness of what is happening in our homeland. So share the link, and I will be right back in 60 seconds. Share the link. Welcome again to Conversation with Rickford Burke. This is Rickford Burke here in New York. Let's start off by talking about Mocha. Mocha, as everybody knows, on January 6th, the government reenacted slavery. Reenacted slavery. I tell you, when I am tortured. I am tortured by the images of Mocha. They give me nightmares, literally. They give me nightmares. I think, uh, I don't know of any other situation in Guyana where we actually can conjure up in our minds what happened to our ancestors during slavery. Moka represented that. And it's so ironic that Moka is a village that was bought by slaves. Moka was bought by slaves. And these people literally treated the people of Moka on the 6th of January just like slave masters treated Black people, Black slaves during slavery. Bulldoze their homes, destroy their produce, destroy their products, destroy furnishings, destroy appliances, destroyed items that business people had for sale, destroyed cattle. That's slavery. That happened in slavery, during slavery. So the PPP government represents the new plantocracy in Guyana. It's historic. It's historic that they are reenacting slavery. The only thing missing was some white people riding on horses whipping Black people. But why would they need that? They have, of course, the police force. They have the police force who could pretend that they're white slave masters, dragging women through the mud and beating them, dragging them out of their homes. That's what the Palestinians go through. And so we must never forget it. We must never stop talking about it. Share this link, everybody. Share this link to all and sundry. Everybody here, share this link to at least 20 or 30 other people. So we must never stop talking about Moka. Never. Moka Arcadia. And like I said in my last broadcast, it is disputed. The government claims that these homes were on government reserve. Is disputed because the local village people, leaders, the NDC, the village council, is saying that those are ancestral lands. The government claims through the Department of Surveys, the Lands and Surveys Department, and the Ministry of Housing that it is government reserve. Well, show us the documents. Bring the drawings and show us that these were on government reserve. And even if they're on government reserve, international conventions require you to treat people humanely. What happened there was a violation of the Declaration of Human Rights. It's a violation of the CARICOM Charters of Civil Society. And there must be consequences. So we must not forget the people of Moka. Sometime on Sunday, I want to coordinate for the victims of Moka to come with some of their political representatives on this program. I'm inviting the people of Moka, all those victims, to gather where you normally gather when Miss Brooms is there. And I want to talk to all of you. I've already spoken to Siobhan, but spread the word. On Sunday, we want to talk to the people of Moka. I want the world to see these human faces that the PPP just brutalized. And by the way, up to now, these people have no homes, no lands, nothing. They're languishing, sleeping by family, sleeping by friends, sleeping in halls. 50 adults and, 20 adults and 50 children. I think that's the figure I saw the MP from Moka saying, the East Bank. 50 children, 20 adults, I think 15 families or something like that. So we want to talk to them. I want them to come in this program. I want the elected officials in America to see them, see these human faces, see that these are all Black people. And I want to particularly in this context, address PPP supporters who believe that they are so self-righteous and superior to Black people that we cannot speak about their racism against Blacks. And if you speak about it, they come on social media and say, oh, you should be jailed for talking against the government. Or you should be arrested for causing division in the country. I think the people who went to Moka and destroyed the people's homes should be arrested. I think the people in the government who practice racism and racial discrimination should be arrested. You're not going to stop us from exposing your racism. It is unfathomable that these racists, some of them living right here in Queens, can tell us that we must go to jail for exposing the atrocities that happen in Moka. What kind of warped thinking is that? Well, we saw it in America. I live in America. The KKK thinks like that because they think they're superior. So PPP supporters have the mindset of the people in the KKK because they think that we shouldn't exist as Black people. They think that we should get no services from the government. They think that we are inferior. They call us the N-word. And they think we have no right to speak. Them alone have a right to speak. Them alone have a right to form relationships, get Republicans to talk on their behalf. As soon as some other part, I saw somebody saying that the Democrats are racist against East Indians. A PPP supporter. These are the people who back in Trump, and Trump wants to throw all of them out of the country. Trust me. Trump think that all of those same East Indian PPP supporters in Queens, Trump think that they're Black immigrants who don't deserve to be in this country. But they're so disdainful of Black people, these PPP supporters, some of them in Queens, that they think that they're white. And so they want to identify with white Republicans because they figure white Republicans are against Black people. And seeing that we are similar in thinking, yeah, we want to identify with the Republican. But some of these Republicans, based on their policies, want to kick them out of this country as immigrants. They don't even realize how stupid they are, but they are so innately disdainful of Afro-Guyanese that they can't see the error of their ways. I just have to throw that in. That's a topic for a different night. And I'm going to do a program with some others and call some names. We have some professors and some of these men in this country who are racist, who should be called out just like the MAGA folks in the Republican Party. We're going to do that on this same program. But coming back to Moka, everybody keep sharing the link. Share the link. I would not forget the people of Moka. Everywhere I go in this country, I will make representation for the people of Moka. Others can organize supplies and services. I don't want to do that because I don't think I have the time to do a good job at it. Lots of people have been calling me to ask me to coordinate. I can't do that. Other people can do that. But I will advocate strongly for justice for the people of Moka. Because what took place in Moka, there were crimes against humanity. When you look at the viciousness of the attack, that excavator operator was vicious. He had instructions. The police officers were vicious. They had instructions. Well, we know they had instructions because we got the call when the instructions were given to the police. And I'm the one that announced it on my Facebook page that the police was heading to Moka to destroy. And I am disappointed in the political opposition, which is the political representatives of Moka. I'm talking about the opposition combined. They're particular people who are working hard on the ground. But collectively, I'm disappointed. I'm disappointed that I have not seen letters being written to the government, to the police, to the international community, demanding an investigation or a commission of inquiry into that crime of, should I say a war crime? We're saying crime against humanity, but they're war crimes actually. The government declared war on the people of Moka. So those are war crimes. I saw police officers breaking down bridges. Police officers breaking down bridges. What mandate in the Constitution, what provision in the Constitution allows police officers to break down bridges to people's homes? Why isn't there an inquiry? And police officers know that that is wrong. I've spoken to police officers who said that it was outrageous. Why isn't there an inquiry into what happened at Moka? Why isn't there more outcry? Why are we allowing this matter to die when these people still don't have any homes? And again, I want to address this issue where people are saying they don't want to move. It's a lie. And the government saying some people since January 6th got homes. It's a lie. Propaganda. Yes, there were about 30 or so families. Some of them took the arbitrary settlement the government gave them. They had no representation, nothing. You had to go in a room individually. You couldn't bargain collectively. And you sign your life away. Some people felt satisfied with that. Some people who had cattle, businesses, had more questions. For instance, I spoke to 2 families in Moka affected. One a farmer, one a businesswoman. And let's reason here. The government arbitrarily wants these people to move to either her land that they're giving them at her Stelling and at farm. You don't have a choice. You got to go to her Stelling or you got to go to farm. Suppose I don't want to go to farm and I want to go to Diamond or Grove or Bagot Stung. I don't have that choice. That's number one. Number two, the people with businesses. Where are they going to set up their business? In the house? They're giving these people house lots in residential areas. I don't know where. But let's assume is at the back somewhere or selling on the back of farm or whatever. How am I going to establish my beer garden or my store? What provision will be made for my business? Second question. Third question. Where would I live between the period when my home is being built? You just broke down my home and you're telling me move to her Stelling. But you're telling me move to her Stelling. Keep sharing the link, everybody. You're telling me to move to her Stelling to an empty land. What is the arrangement for me to live? The arrangement for my children, to my family to be fed. How am I going to earn? Remember, I'm a businessman. Same thing with the people with cattle. Where are their cattle going to go? The government tell them sell the cattle. What if I don't want to sell my cattle? There's no provision for that. One man had 77 cows, somebody had 99 sheep or goat, somebody else had hundreds of pigs, some people had livestock. Where are these things going to go? No provision for that. Some people had farms. You saw the government deliberately flooded their farms. Another crime against humanity. Where are these people going to establish their farms? Who is going to compensate them for their farm, the destruction of their farm? The government say, okay, we'll give you farmland on the East Bank. Sorry, on the Sioux Lake Highway. Okay, how am I getting there? How am I going to start this farm? What land are you allocating to me? Who's going to fence the land? Where am I going to get the seedlings from to start the crops? These are the questions, very legitimate questions, these business people or farmers or the residents of Moka had. The government's like, listen, y'all just move, come sign a paper, take how much money we give y'all, and that's it. This is not a democracy. You can't have a lawyer. We're not dealing with lawyers, we're dealing with you. And for the life of me, I don't know why these people weren't, the government wasn't sued and taken to court. I'm still asking that question, why? But I guess the people in Moka can answer that question. Share the link, everybody, keep sharing the link. So those are legitimate questions the people at Moka had. And the Minister of Housing, just like he was running up and down on TV, must go and answer these questions on TV. Answer these questions. Tell us how you engage these people and answer these questions. Because if my property is valued at $13 million, and you're moving me and you're telling me I'm going to only give you $5 million, what am I moving for? The government did not have an independent valuation of these structures and property. The government sent people there from the valuation department, government, to do the valuation. There was no independent valuator to work alongside the government team. It was an arbitrary assessment of your property, an arbitrary decision of what your property is valued. And that's what the government say that you'll get. And if you object to it, too bad, move. Sell your property, sell your cattle, whatever, move. So that's what the people in Moka face. So don't let anybody tell you the people refuse to move. It's a lie. The government refused to negotiate with the people and to give them a just compensation for their property. The other issue is nobody knows why these people have to move. The government claims that they're building a road and these properties were in the path of the road. The engineer said that's not true. We've demonstrated that that's not true. I wish I had the, I have it, but I don't have it prepared as a slide here to show you clearly that these people's homes were not in the path of the road. Not in the path of the road. And I'm going to find it. I'm pretty sure I can find it. Because I'm told that we could find it. Okay, let me see. So while you can look for it as well. So while the government is saying to these people, and we're trying to find it, while the government is saying to these people that they were in the path of the road, Engineers told the people, no, they're not in the part of the road. But I know it was published before somewhere. So I'm trying to find it. Bear with me here. Because this is an important subject and the public needs to understand what are the issues here. I'm pretty sure I saw it in a newspaper. That's what I'm looking for. There was a map with a clear I'm looking for a map with a clear demarcation of of where the road was running and where the houses are. But nevertheless, let me see. I'm seeing one of the. Oh, there you go. So I have it. Let me see if I can share my screen. Share the link, everybody. Let me see if I can share my screen here so that you could see what I'm talking about. Good. Let me see if I could make this bigger. Yes, I can. There you go. There you go. There you go. All right. There you go. So you can see here. You can see here where the white sand is. That's the part of the road. Keep sharing the link, everybody. That's the part of the road. And the homes that were destroyed are represented by those yellow X's. Those yellow X's. Now, people, you judge for yourself. And if you see to the right, your left, the other side of the X's, there's a lot of space there. So the engineers could have, if you were interested in people's welfare and you didn't want to interrupt people's lives, the engineer could have drawn that road slight more to the left, to your left. So it didn't come in the part of those roads, but in those homes. But even with that, look at this. These people's homes were not in the path of the road. Clearly not in the path of the road. So why were their homes destroyed? Share the link, everybody. Why were their homes destroyed? And if the government was really interested in these people's welfare, why up to now not one single central government official from the executive branch? Because Parliament is part of the government as well. Parliament is the legislative branch of the government, and MPs have been going into Moka. But nobody from the PPP government went to meet these people. Why? Because they're Black people. There's no question in my mind that were these East Indian people, their homes would not have been destroyed in this fashion. The government would have gone and negotiated with them and give them titles, have big ceremony. The East Indian PPP supporters at Monrepo broke up a market that the government built for them. They said they don't like it, and they broke it up. And the government went back and pleaded with them and built back a new one. Nobody was arrested. Slavery. This PP government think that they represent slave masters. You see our finale, how he walks around the place like he's a monarch, like he's a king. He has nothing else to do. Jack Dale is sitting at his desk around the country and telling him, like, go out and see how they're making out on them road with the building there. He has nothing else to do. And he said he wants to be tough. He treated the people of Moka like slaves because he wanted to show people that he was tough. He didn't want to be soft, perceived as soft. So take the message to your family and friends and neighbors tonight that you've seen the diagram, that the homes that were destroyed were not in the path of the road. And the government needs to say exactly why. It is rumored that these are prime estates and the government want to sell these lands to people. And like I said, it is still in dispute who own these lands. They said it's central government reserve, but the local NDC says that these are ancestral lands bought by African slaves. Share the link, everybody. So you see it for yourself. The homes were not in the path of the road, but they break up the people's homes. Right now, the people have nowhere to go. Nowhere to go. I saw a report by the MP. Keep sharing the link. I saw a report by the MP, Nima Flubes, and she was giving some information about the people of Moka that were affected. 35 households. She said 35 households were affected with 50 children. So 35 households altogether were affected and 50 children. And nobody from the government has seen it fit, has any decency or humanity to go to these families to try to figure out where they're going to live. They're Black people. Government don't give a damn about them. These Black people? Oh no, break down those Negroes' homes and drive them out of here. And like I said, the only thing was left was for people from the government to ride into Moka on horses, on the backs of horses, to whip those women and children out of Moka, like slave masters did. What happened in Moka was the closest representation, closest repeat of what happened to our ancestors during slavery. We had a modern reenactment of what happened to Black people on a slave plantation. The PPP represents the new slave masters. That's how they treated those people. The new plantocracy. So the people of Moka need representation. The people of Moka need their home, need homes. If I were them, I would have built back on them same property. They would have got knocked down every day. They would have shut down the whole village because I would have gone start build back right there. But knowing how mean these people are to Black people, they probably flooded those lands and so on. Have you ever seen people flood people's farms with their produce? They didn't even give them a chance to reap their produce. Why? Because they're Black people. They didn't even give the people a chance to sell some of their cattle or to relocate them. No, they just went in there and started slaughtering the people's cattle and burying them. Some of them, you saw the video. The man said some of his cattle were buried alive. Somebody must be held accountable. Keep sharing the link. Somebody must be held accountable. And before I go to Guyana being listed as one of the most dangerous countries in the world, I want to talk about the mayor of Georgetown. The mayor of Georgetown. The government is after the mayor of Georgetown because he stood up to them. And because he's an East Indian religious leader, they're scared of his influence, so they want to destroy him. How dare this East Indian go and mix up with these black people in the PNC? That's what they're demonstrating. And they're scared of him because he's a pandit. He's a Hindu priest. And so they're using this black tongue clerk to destroy his life, basically. The tongue clerk, Candace Nelson, who does not have the authority, instructed the acting tongue city chief constable, he's only acting, to remove the mayor's security. So they took away the mayor's security from his home, and they took away his bodyguard. Like, who the hell these people? Where do these people get this kind of power from? How can the tongue clerk instruct the chief constable and the chief constable carried out to take away the chief citizen of Georgetown's security? As far as I'm concerned, they're setting him up to be killed. That's what the government does. You and them fall out, they find a way to get the police arrest you to take away your firearm so that you're exposed to criminal elements. And that's what they're doing to the mayor. And the mayor is receiving their threats. Today, he had to write the police commissioner. And I'm disappointed in the opposition because I haven't seen this condemned by the political opposition. And the mayor is from the PNC. And like I said, I'm sympathetic to the PNC and the opposition, but I'm also eager for a competent opposition. One that zealously represents their people, their constituents, their supporters. I don't think the mayor is getting that kind of support. And that is what is giving the PPP this audacity, boldness. You go to City Hall and arrest the mayor? If I were the mayor of Georgetown, nobody, they can't come back in the city. You're not coming into my city to arrest me because I'm standing up for social justice and to torture me. No, this is my city. Maybe that's why I'm not the mayor, but you know, that's just my philosophy. You want to be tough, I'll be tough too. So now they are endangering the life of the mayor. Take away his security. I saw critics drove straight into the mayor's yard and videoing his house, almost telegraphing to criminals how to attack him, how to break into his house. He was not arrested for cybercrime. Why? Because he is a supporter of the government. The laws of Guyana don't apply to PPP supporters. Police in Guyana don't serve and protect people on the opposite side of the political aisle. The police force is for the PPP, their family and their friends, and the East Indian supporters of the PPP. That's what the Guyana police force is for. What gives the town clerk the authority to take away the mayor's security, endangering his wife and his children, endangering the mayor's life? And if I was the mayor, that town clerk could have never, ever come back in City Hall. I don't know what is going on in Guyana, but I am telling you my view. If I were the mayor and that town clerk want to try that, she can't work at City Hall. Can't. This is the second time she tried that. She did that when the mayor met with elected officials here and told them that there's racism. They took away She instructed them to take away the mayor's security. And the people of Georgetown are too quiet. They must speak out. The people of Georgetown must speak out. The political opposition must speak out. I didn't see this happening under the coalition. And the government the PUP is setting a dangerous precedent. And like I said, when they come out of power, every single thing they did should be undone. And every act of injustice that they committed, they should face the consequences for. This is not nice bite time like Granger. When Jack they got arrested, he's like, oh, that's not the way to treat a president. No, these people are vicious, they're evil, and they're racist. And they must be dealt with when they leave office. Or even before they leave office, well, but there's nobody to hold them to account. So that's it on the mayor's office. Now, while the Guyana police, the PPP is busy using the Guyana police force to go after their political enemies and to act like their death squad, their phantom death squad, and to monitor free people's speech and political association and arrest people who criticize the government. While all of that police resources and assets are being used as the political police, the criminals in Georgetown are getting a free rein. Serious crime is up. Every day almost there's an execution. We're back into the bad days of the PPP when the Phantom Death Squad operated and just gunned down people every day. That's where we are now. And it happens because the police force is compromised. The police force is compromised. The police force is a political force. The police force itself is almost a criminal enterprise. So let's see. Again, let me share my screen. So you don't say Rickford Burke said. Let's see what one of the world so this is an analysis by the World Population Review. The World Population Review, which is a publication that does all these studies around the world about crime, economics, growth, demographics. And so let us see. I'm not sure if you could see it. But number one, and this statistics is compiled as per 100 person, 100,000 people globally. Look at it. Number one, Venezuela. Number two, Papua New Guinea. Number three, South Africa. Number four, Afghanistan. Number five, Honduras. Number six, Trinidad and Tobago. Number seven, Guyana. Number eight, El Salvador. Number nine, Brazil. Number 10, Jamaica. This is statistics for 2023 rather. Guyana is listed among the top 10 countries in the world with the highest crime rates and makes the country one of the most dangerous countries in the world. And this is not this only publication. There's another publication that has it at number 6. Another organization that monitors crime in the world has Guyana at number 6. Stabrook News 2 days ago did an editorial on execution-style killings and bemoaned the same fact. And they even went on to say, the Stabrook News editorial went on to say, that these crimes would not be solved. We back to square one with the PP government. The countries with the 10 highest crime rates expressed in per 100,000 people globally are Venezuela, Papua New Guinea, South Africa, Afghanistan, Honduras, Trinidad and Tobago, Guyana, El Salvador, Brazil, Jamaica. Let's see what they say about Guyana. Let's see the write-up about Guyana. Guyana has the 8th highest crime rate worldwide, 68.74, and a murder rate of about 4 times higher than the United States. Despite a rigorous licensing requirement to own firearm, Guyana got no rigorous licenses. Guyana firearms, if you're a PPP supporter, you get it. Anyway, the use of weapons by criminals is common. Domestic violence happens regularly in Guyana as the enforcement of domestic violence laws is weak. The police and all beat their wife. The same people who got enforced the laws beat up their partners. Armed robberies occurred frequently as well, especially in Georgetown. Additionally, tourists are often the victims of hotel break-ins, robbery, and assault. That is what Guyana is now on the world stage for. Now Rickford Burke says so. Don't blame me. World Population Review. What is the Guyana Police Force doing? They're monitoring who's criticizing the government, who talking bad about Jack Dale, who talking bad about PPP supporters, who talking bad about businessmen that finance the PPP, using up all the resources to go after political enemies, charging people from GCOM, charging opposition people, going after this person, going after that person. They don't have time to fix the crime rates because the Guyana Police Force now is focused on who are the enemies of the PPP. And that's who the law is being enforced against. Domestic violence? Man chop up your wife, kill your wife, beat up your wife. Police? No, they're searching for see what Bork's saying on the internet. They're monitoring what Sherry Duncan got to say on the internet. 20-40 police officers that should be on the road monitoring cybercrime. What is cybercrime? Criticism of the government. The police doesn't have resources to go after crime because all of the resources is focused on doing the dirty political work of the PPP. Why? Because that's what the leadership of the Guyana Police Force was installed to do. Guyana has the 8th highest crime rate in the world, 68%. 68.74% to be precise. And the Guyana Police Force is satisfied with that. I want to see where Guyana rates on the index of suppressing dissent, probably 98%. Because that's where the police focus is. That's where the police focus is. So if you're an investor, you want to think about whether you want to come to invest in Guyana, live in Guyana, and your family will be killed down the road. Maybe even by a law enforcement officer, because we're seeing police officers getting arrested for all kinds of things. But the top ones involved in the white collar crimes, they're not getting arrested. Bribery and kickback and crime for hire. Guyana has the 8th highest crime rate in the world. And the Guyana police force is maybe 70% focused on monitoring political enemies of the government. I hear they're even monitoring elected officials in America who criticize the government. They're hiring people to monitor them and what they say. And then sending responses to their lobbyists. The Guyana police force is a police force for PPP East Indians, their family and their friends. PPP members, their family and their friends and their East Indian supporters. And by the way, the East Indian businessmen, yes. You're a black businessman? To hell with you. Somebody shoot you, okay, we're gonna figure out who did that next year. That's not the focus of the Guyana police force. Meanwhile, the criminals, and it is so coincidental that whenever the PP is in power, crime goes up. Money laundering, exponentially up. Drugs, they're exporting drugs by the tons now from Guyana under the PPP. The tons. Domestic violence, that's not being enforced. That's what the report just said. But I'm pretty sure a whole unit of like 400 people in the Guyana police force right now sitting down monitoring every word and typing every word that Rickford Burke says. Or Shara Duncan, or Mark Benchcott, or Dr. David Hines, or some politician in America. Meanwhile, some nurse right now getting off of work from Georgetown Hospital, some security guard getting either robbed, shot, and killed, somebody getting gunned down somewhere. They don't have enough police officers on the street. They don't have enough patrols around the country. They're patrolling the internet to see who's talking against the government. It's like Russia or China or North Korea. That's where we are as a country. So people from the diaspora, if you want to go home to Guyana, you got to consider whether or not you want to go home to be killed. Because the report says armed robberies are up. Serious crime is up. Choke and rob, tourists, they even breaking into your hotel. And you call the police, you got a vehicle for me? If you got no vehicle, we can't come. Plus, you might gotta give you a bribe. You might gotta give the police a bribe, a little raise. Oh, we ain't eat, you know. We ain't eat. The policeman tell me that. They just gotta ask people for money to eat when they go out working. Their salaries can't mind them. Some of them have to go with the people's vehicle that came to make the report. So you imagine now one day, I came and make a report at the precinct, at the police station, and the police asked me to take them to the location of the crime. And when we get there, in the complainant's vehicle, we discovered that the complainant is the one that committed the crime, and that complainant has to be arrested. What happened with the police? Who gonna bring the police and the arrestee back to the police station? They probably gotta let the man drag them back and then arrest you there. That's the Guyana police force. But you you say something bad about the government. I saw the East Indian young man in a video yesterday saying he came from court because he was arrested for criticizing the police commissioner and the crime chief. Sorry, not the crime chief. He said the police commissioner and Brutus. Now you think about the resources it takes to go after people who criticize somebody on the internet. The amount of police resources that take. While those same officers can be on the streets preventing crime. It is one thing to have a strategy to arrest, apprehend assailants, criminals. But the ideal policing is to prevent crime. And you prevent crime, and this is my area, I study criminal justice. And you prevent crime by having preventative measures. People must see things that scare them to commit crimes. Whether it's a police patrol, whether it's cameras, those are all deterrents to crime. If you're walking down Regent Street and you're a choker rob, as we say, and you see a policeman at every corner, you're going to think before you rob somebody, because you're going to know that you'll get caught. But if you're going down Regent Street and you see your first police officer would be at Camp Street, and by the time you go down further, you probably ain't going to see another one until you reach probably Border Market or whatever it is. Yeah, you're going to rob 10 people in between that. If you see police cameras or CTV cameras, you might hesitate. So what is the crime prevention strategy for the Guyana Police Force? We don't know. Tourists, visitors, think about these things. Investors. You want to spend billions of dollars going to invest in Guyana to get killed, you and your family? These are issues that investors must address with the government. Ambassadors must address with the government. Refocus the police force to fight crime and not fight political enemies of the government. So, with that, I want to wrap up by going back to Moka. We need a solution in Moka. The people in Moka must have a just compensation for the destruction of their items, properties, homes, livelihood, livestock, everything. Just compensation. And people must be held accountable. The people who make those decisions must be held accountable, even if it's by the international community. They must be held accountable. That's all for tonight, my friends. Thank you for listening. Thank you for joining me. And again, on Sunday, I'll be talking with all of the families of all of the Moka victims. Hopefully we could get everybody, let the world see how many kids, how many families, how many women were brutalized and affected by this racist PUP government. Have a good night, everybody. See you on Sunday. Good night.